Today's video was brought to you by War Thunder. In EU5, the Haudenosaunee start as 5 separate tribes bound together in the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, relatively isolated from the wider world yet still surrounded by the many peoples inhabiting the northeastern corner of Turtle Island. Many challenges lie ahead for the Haudenosaunee. Opportunities to trade with new faces come with encroachment by settlers who bring with them disease and weapons of war. With the guidance of history on our side, we should be able to enter into the early modern period prepared for the worst. Before we begin, we actually do have a sponsor for today's video, so insert segue here. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and is available now for free on PC, consoles, and mobile devices. Wait, really? Back when I started playing this game, my phone could barely load a YouTube video. That's crazy. Well, it is developed with their optimized in-house engine, so you could probably play it on your grandma's Nokia. Okay, maybe not quite, but you get the point. War Thunder has over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations across the 1920s to today, all with detailed models and hitboxes allowing you to target engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and the crew with realistic interactions between armor and armaments. My favorite part of War Thunder is its dedication to player immersion. The detail on the vehicles, the realism of the graphics, and authentic sound effects make you feel like you're taking part in the greatest battles of modern history. And you can join over 95 million players in intense PvP battles ranging from arcade, realistic, and simulator modes. With so many vehicles to try out and a host of customization options, there's simply no game better suited for fans of military history. Play War Thunder today using the links in the description or pinned comment. And if you're a new or returning player on console or PC that hasn't played in the last 6 months, you'll get multiple premium vehicles and an exclusive vehicle decorator, plus 100,000 silver lions in 7 days of premium. It's available only for a limited time, so don't miss it. People seem to like it when I play these starts that are incredibly difficult in EU5, and I don't blame you. I'd probably rather watch someone play this rather than play it myself too. Unfortunately, I got the short end of the stick in that equation because, you know, I'm the one who makes the videos, I guess. I'm just kidding. I actually have a lot of fun playing these. So here's your early Christmas present. We're playing as the Haudenosaunee, or also known as the Iroquois. 1337, we have a while before anybody else really shows up here, and we're going to try and prepare our best for the coming storm. We're playing as this tribe on the east side of the Confederacy, mostly because we have closer access to the ocean, and also because we have the largest population to start with. Now, you might notice that we are in this international organization, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. It's not really useful for us, actually, to be honest. It's basically just like a defensive pact. It can also function as an offensive pact. We actually do have a town here. I think it's the only town in this area. I guess they had to make it a town because they also wanted to make it a market. And you can only have a market in a town, so I guess that's the reason why. I don't think it was historically a town, at least not at this point, but it will make our game a little bit easier. Now, we can rival some countries. I don't really know if we want to be honest. Like, is there really a point in doing that? We can just dissolve the Federation, invade the rest of the tribes, form the Iroquois? Maybe. Anyway, for now, let's look at our research. We have a lot of things to research, actually. Yeah, let's do this. Codified laws, that sounds like a good idea. Oh, we can't even have subjects yet. Allow tax? Okay, there are so many things we have to research. A lot of the religions right now share the exact same mechanics. You get to pick from one of 10 deities, and then you just kind of don't change it because it's weirdly expensive to do so. So we're gonna go with population growth. And what's the first thing for us to do? Probably settle the frontier. Unlike in Cusco, even though they did fix this like yesterday, we don't have food problems here, I don't think. Grabbing the rest of the stuff in this area. Oh, we don't have people to send off. Never mind. Nobody to do anything with, but I'm gonna hire somebody. It actually is kind of important. We are going to settle the frontier. Now, there aren't really a lot of people to settle any frontiers with. The materials here aren't that important. Well, we could get stone. That's actually kind of important. All right, we're gonna settle this frontier just so we can pick this up. And we're gonna send people from the Adirondacks because there's pretty much nobody there. Now, this character is 45 years old. There's a decent chance they're going to die, but that's all right. Let's also settle some tribesmen in our capital. Oh, look at that. We actually do have a few people. What do you know? Okay, well, you're gonna do this job, I guess. And we don't need anybody for that. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm surprised we actually have some events here. Talks about the Great Peacemaker, where the Haudenosaunee Confederation began. We get, for 10 years, gold, stability, and monthly tribal cohesion, and the form closer bonds and merge tribe interactions. Ooh, okay, cool. Now that might be a slight issue because we actually just rivaled this guy. Yeah, that's not exactly super easy. Okay, can I do that with a country that doesn't border me? Yes. Okay, that's not too bad actually then. Yeah, we'll just have to out-rival this guy, make sure he's too small to actually rival us, and then that's probably fine. I do like that we have a bunch of money though, that's nice. Means we actually can build a few things. What do we get? Monthly prosperity everywhere? That's actually really good at the start of the game. Yeah, we'll take that. More prosperity for more population growth and development. What can we do here? We can form closer bonds with this clan. Oh wow, we actually don't have very many tribesmen at all. Like, we've just settled everybody. That was really fast. Oh yeah, I didn't even check what the estates are like because we don't actually have, like, any taxation. We get a couple of things for the Haudenosaunee clan mothers. Traditionalism, communalism. Okay, that's not bad. Very weak nobility. I'm a big fan of that, actually. Pretty happy commoners. This is a unique thing. Production efficiency. Ooh. More communalism, more traditional economy. Big fan of the communalism. We might need to swap it out for capital economy at some point, but not yet. And then eventually we might want to get rid of communal lands. Autonomous villages and also communal lands, those two things we're not really a big fan of. I might actually get rid of this first. And we're going to have you focus on stability because we can't actually invest in it yet. The parliament doesn't really have anything that we can use. We're not really in a position to take advantage of this centralization. We might just bolster the government though. Well, we can try. Age of Renaissance. Not much we can do with this. We will actually want the proximity cost reduction. So I lied, there is something we could do with that. Probably the only thing that's useful in here actually. What else do we not want the estates to have? Probably this. Monthly progress towards decentralization is not really something that we want. We will get some centralization here. We'll get a little centralization in here. We'll actually also revoke this. Okay, we can now codify laws, so that's good. We'll go with strict censorship. It basically just lets us tax our population more with less blowback. We'll go with codified power. Federal tribe is amazing for proximity cost reduction. Ooh, this is a lot of options actually. I think we do want religious teachings. We just want as much literacy as possible. Then we'll go with this for some progress towards capital economy. We can promote urbanization, right? But there is one person in the location. One person deciding he's important enough to constitute a town. Well, anyway, I actually don't mind expanding the farming estates. Not that I necessarily want it to pass in here, but because it makes it cheaper to expand these. You'll notice I haven't been building much. That's mostly because we kind of can't. Oh wait, I'm stupid. There actually is clay in this market. I don't have to wait for this stone. That's pretty awkward. Okay, yeah, we're gonna build some masonry, I guess. It turns out we can actually build things the entire time. Crazy how that works. It's not like we could have taxed anybody though, so it doesn't really matter too much, I guess. Whether or not we build something, we make the same amount of money. This is useful though. I think we actually do want the stone. We should be able to build like one building with that, maybe. Alright, settlement is done. Very cool. Not really too much we can do with this, but we do want to expand that stone so we can have easier access to masonry. And then we're going to settle another frontier. Then what we actually have to do is send a whole bunch of people back into this one province so that we can use it again to settle another location. We're going to settle over here for the fiber crops. Now we are starting to build up just a little bit. We have a tools workshop in the capital. I think every parliament debate, we're just going to go with whatever's the most likely. I just don't want to not hold the parliament debate because eventually the estates get mad at you. Yeah, you can have fewer levy obligations, that's fine. Alright, we've discovered the ability to tax people and also mint things, but like not really because we don't have silver or gold. I think it would be cool if at some point in the future we could mint with other things depending on the region, because currency wasn't always silver or gold. For example, if we can find copper and to make coins out of that, that would be cool. Anyway, let's invest in that stability so we can get it real nice and high up there. We'll also, of course, maximize our tribal cohesion. And diplomatic spending kind of matters just because we need to have a total of 3 maximum diplomats. Of course, we're going to come over here to the burghers and grant them the treasury rights. It'll allow us to tax them more than we could before, even if it does reduce the maximum tax. More importantly, though, it's going to increase our tax efficiency. Now, we want to form closer bonds with the other tribes here. Actually, merging the tribes is going to be a little bit interesting. So first we're going to profess trust. That should give us, 10 trust with them, which should be enough for us to actually merge our tribes. We're going to do it so that we can annex them, but we don't actually want to keep them annexed. Oh, also, I guess that disbands the IO. That's definitely a little weird, but okay. Now, yeah, we don't actually want to hold on to this. We are going to re-release them as a subject. They will be our vassal, because we can't really do much with this territory, so they're going to hold on to it for us. Fortunately, because we've done that, we're actually much stronger than this tribe here, so we're no longer rivaled. We can actually now form a closer bond here. I guess we could hand out like one thing to the nobility. You can have this. Look at us now, eh? We're really starting to get somewhere, kind of. It would be nice if we could sort of follow this river as well. This might be our main path to propagate control, other than, of course, this general direction. Although, before that really becomes a thing, we're going to have to grab maybe these locations. Oh yeah, let's not forget to do this. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of urbanization in here. This would be a nice town, and the main reason we do want to urbanize is because we need more tools. That really is the main thing. I found that if you don't have copper and tin in your market, then tools are always going to be the building you need the most of, because the stone-based tools just don't make very much at all. Tragically, even though we do have some copper that we could eventually reach, tin is just nowhere to be found. I know they added some to North America. They also added some to South America, because of course they would after I finish my my Inca video. But even despite that, yep, there's absolutely no tin here. Eventually we'll explore this to see if there's tin here. I don't actually know if there is. Regardless, we do want this one town. I don't like having to save scum these, but I'm just gonna let you know I will save scum this if we can't pass this. Huh, what do you know? Okay, well, never mind, we're good. Usually the percentage it gives you declines, but I guess not always. Alright, we do have enough stability now. We're going to profess trust in this clan, and we're going to raise diplomatic spending so that we can get 3 diplomats. Oh, we actually need more stability. Oops, my bad. Of course, we'll take civil society. Ooh, big boost to stability. Okay, perfect. Let's profess our trust again. We're going to merge our tribes, which annexes them. Of course, we're going to re-release them as a vassal. Super important this time because we're going to ask them to produce tools for us once we have the money. Again, we're going to start moving some people around, mostly from down here actually, see if we can get them to move into here, and then we shall settle the frontier once more. Now, before we do that though, I am just going to take a quick look at the world so that I can see where tin would be. Pretty important for this playthrough, so I do have this mod enabled that will let me open up debug. And we're gonna terra incognita for a quick second just to see where that might be. Good thing I did, because we were going the completely wrong direction. There is nothing over here for us. In fact, this entire game is going to be incredibly painful until we have the Columbian exchange so that we can actually move stuff over here. There really is nothing but lumber, fur, and wild game. Oh my god. Wait, there's like no tin here. Really? I thought they added tin somewhere. Like there's a little bit over here. I wouldn't call that tin being somewhere, like nobody can access it, so... Alright. This is gonna be a lot worse than I thought it would be. Oh yeah, we actually have border laws now. Closed borders? No, that's okay. We'll have them open for now. It doesn't really make a difference. Oh, you, of course, you make tools and your subjects make slave markets. It's like clockwork. I hate it. Please, we don't want to make slaves. We just want to cut down trees. We just want lumber and tools. It's not even worth it. It's not even going to make you that much money. Okay, since we can colonize now, I think we should be able to colonize this instantly. Nope, it did not work like that. Now, why? Nobody really knows this time. It is an accepted culture and the correct religion, so even the mistakes I was making in the past don't apply this time. More settlements, very nice. I think it would be kinda cool for us to try and move a little bit towards the coast. We do have some nice proximity propagation sort of down along this way. We have this river that's kind of close to the capital, so we can get a little bit of proximity here. We might even be able to get some fish, which is quite an expensive good. High demand, meaning it should make some money. And hopefully the proximity is enough that we can actually collect some of that. So once again, we're going to promote migration to this province. And we're going to expel people from anywhere that we don't particularly care about, maybe up there. I think we can also probably annex this guy. Now, it's a little weird. It says their trust here is 41.2-ish. And then we, check the number up here and it says 35. I don't know why that is. In theory, though, if we profess trust, well, actually, it increases it by a total of 8. Now that we have a little bit of prestige from a royal marriage, though, we can profess trust here. It brings us up to, if the actual trust, again, the number there is looking a little weird, but we can increase our diplomatic spending, get another diplomat, and I messed it up a little bit. Alright, well, I was hoping to not have to do this, but I guess we're going to. Maybe I should have done that from the start. Maybe that would have been a good idea. Anyway, we're going to profess trust again. And now we're going to merge our tribes. This time though, we're actually going to keep them because we get some proximity here. It's not great, but it's something. We are actually starting to build some stuff in here. It's kind of weird that the estates are trying to build these lumber mills when they just take up a lot of tools and they don't really give you that much lumber. And also, lumber is everywhere. We don't need to use tools to collect wood because it's like the only thing we have in abundance. Everywhere we find one of those, we are going to get rid of it. Alright, I think we should probably start to integrate our subjects a little. They are going to take some time. Additionally, we can go up here and profess trust in our friend over here. And we don't have enough stability. Of course, I keep forgetting about stability. Oh, I guess we have recently merged tribes, haven't we? Yeah, okay, never mind. We have gotten to the point where we're going to want to start creating roads, but the interesting thing about our geographic situation here is that there are very few roads we can build that are actually going to be useful. So let's grab the parliament. We're going to expand the gravel road network. We're going to use that discount to build a road from our capital just into here, once we have the money. Okay, there we go. We'll make sure we can pass this as well. Oh, here we go, another settlement. How's the proximity here, actually? Not amazing, but it's about to get a little bit better. Now, let's keep looking at rivers and tracing them to get the best possible proximity. We should be able to get some good proximity along this river as well, so we'll start there. Notice our proximity kind of travels down here, right? It's not easy to show you this, but I'll just explain what's going to happen. When we go from here to here, obviously, we don't have any river. So when we build this, it is going to improve the proximity. Let's just tab out and then back in. Proximity is a lot better here. Now, as the proximity moves along here, you can kind of think of rivers as free roads, because they will replace roads for the purposes of proximity at least. So if we built a road, say from here all the way down to here, it would actually do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, it might give you a few of the other benefits that a road gives you. Movement cost reduction, market access cost. So it does stuff, it does things, I guess. I actually don't know if it would be superseded by a river or the market access cost either. I'm not too sure. Likewise, the second road that is useful for us to build is just the road that goes from here into here, and then the river will handle the rest of this for us. Well, of course, it doesn't hurt to build one from here to here either, since this lumber makes a decent amount of money. Oh right, we should actually, we should do this. Alright, let's merge tribes. Our proximity is still horrendous over here, so we'll turn you into a subject. That's one subject annexed. Ooh, we really don't have very good proximity here. Okay, we definitely do need to build this. Oh right, I should probably change my employment system too. Yeah, that's a little embarrassing. Definitely should have been infrastructure then most profitable. I know that the proximity here is going to be horrible, but I'm still going to integrate these guys, because I have the feeling that I can figure this out somehow, maybe. This is actually not terrible proximity. I kind of like this. We should be able to get a little bit of decent proximity down here. The price of building a road has been collapsed down by 33%, so we're going to go over to our parliament, expand the gravel road network again. And if we build a road from here into here, then we should be able to get at least some proximity. I know there's a river here, there's a lake here. This location is just kind of screwed. Well, there is actually a river from here to here, so that should work out fine. And now, of course, we can form Haudenosaunee. We'll become a kingdom. We don't get really anything else particularly special, but we do get this nice green color, and if we wanted to, we could reform into a monarchy. I think we're going to end up losing a couple things if we do that, but I think it's probably for the better. Let's first get that royal marriage, and then we'll do that. 50 stability is, that's kind of hefty actually, that's a lot. Well, probably worth it. The first thing we're going to want out of this is probably the Privy Council, just for the tax efficiency. I don't think anything else here is going to be too particularly useful. We can't stack enough centralization for this to matter. And other than literacy of a very small part of the population, nothing here is actually very useful. We do swap out a couple of our laws though, so I guess we have no choice but to take traditional law. Well, I guess we could just not take one, but we're not going to do that. We'll grab noble levies for the levy combat efficiency. I'm sure we'll need that at some point. Oh, hold on, okay. When we form Haudenosaunee, we get the Great Law of Peace Government Reform. And we get the Grand Council Government Reform? I'm actually shocked there are so many things for the Haudenosaunee. The game came out like 2 weeks ago. I will take this, absolutely. This is a little bit cursed. How about instead of doing all this, maybe we should do this instead. That has to be better. Okay, we get another thing, the Shared Brotherhood Advance. Up assimilation speed, stability investment. Cool. This is like shockingly good content. This is already way above what I expected. And another event, 25 years of strong tribal unity. This would have been really nice if we actually had to fight somebody, but I do like the estate satisfaction and stability. Oh right, we can actually integrate these cultures now. Alright, we're gonna annex this guy, and also we're trying to resettle some pops into this area that I thoroughly depopulated for the last like 70 years. It's somewhat successful. We're building a few settlements. Of course, they can't actually operate at full capacity, but it's fine. I really thought that we would get a river from here to here. I mean, there looks like there's a river right here leading to here, right? But I guess not. In any case, we're going to settle again. Settle here. We're going to use pops from somewhere with poor control. That's inconvenient. Yeah, never mind. We're going to use these guys again. We might as well also construct a couple of bridges around here. I think also a road from here into here is probably a good idea. The proximity is looking surprisingly decent. These rivers are actually really helpful, which I have to say is one of my favorite things about EU5. Like, geography matters in a way that it kind of doesn't in EU4. Like, there is development costs in EU4, and that's cool, but outside of a -1 penalty for crossing a river, rivers just don't really exist in EU4. And since they were so important historically, I'm actually really glad they have a purpose in EU5. That aside though, we are going to build a sergeant tree. We want some manpower so we can start exploring these regions over here. Of course, we do have some decent proximity, so if we can push even further to the east, that would be nice. These areas up here also don't really have that many people, so I feel like we could passively colonize them. I might end up releasing them as subjects afterwards because, I mean, look at our control here, it kind of sucks. But we can at least get the development of these areas underway. Now that we have our administrative law, we're going to go with the Central Council. Centralization is kind of tanked right now. I kind of forgot about this law for a while until I realized, oh right, we're a monarchy, we can get itinerant court. Super important for the -10% proximity cost through land. It does further decentralize us, and I'm not a big fan of that. In fact, I might actually have to fix that soon. Oh right, we did actually start an exploration over here just to see what's going on. Once we have the manpower, we should really try to explore as much of this area as possible. We do have our first colony up here. I think it would be good for us to just create a whole bunch of subjects, honestly. Anywhere we don't have much proximity and we don't think we're going to get very much for a while, we should just give to a subject. It's not like I'm really collecting the taxes from this region, so somebody might as well. This guy died at 29? Really? Okay, yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna save some things. I hate it whenever this happens. I think that this, honestly, should not be part of this mechanic. Like, you're trying to expand somewhere and it just kind of doesn't work every now and then on a random chance. I don't like that. I don't like that kind of unpredictability for something so important. So because I disagree with this mechanic, I'm going to bypass it. Wait a minute, I've created this subject, but you're not actually taxing anybody. Why aren't you taxing anybody? That's so weird. Well, you know what? I am nice enough. I will give you 0.5 ducats per month. Congratulations. Please don't go bankrupt. I don't think that's what happened, but just in case. Well, anyway, we're going to expand the gravel road network once again. Big surprise. Pretty much the only thing I've been doing for a while. This time we want this road because from here to here is actually upstream along this river, which isn't nearly as good. I think the population is just a little bit too free right now, kind of capping the amount we can tax the peasant estate. So we're going to look to introduce some more serfdom. We'll go with nobility controlled serfdom over here. The commoners, we're going to get rid of partial yield. And, you know, wild game is cool and all that, but I don't think it makes enough money for me to care. We're also going to get rid of hunting permits. Don't worry, instead I will give you something else. You can have access to ecclesiastical courts. And then we're going to start pushing towards serfdom. Oh hey, we actually did explore over here. What do we have? Clay, iron, some stone. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Although, by hovering over this copper, we can see that there is some copper right over here. I feel like this one's going to be closer, but we'll explore here anyway. Something in the market is going very wrong, and I might know what it is. I think because I'm starting to build a lot of goods further away, I might be depressing the price of things that are being made closer to the capital. Like if I build lumber out here, then it decreases the price of lumber in the market. And even though I collect less money in taxes from here than I do here, the price of this lumber goes down, which means the profit goes down, which means the taxable income goes down. Sometimes building more is actually not that good. Or maybe my tool shortage is bad enough that it's actually affecting my bridges, which is affecting my proximity. That could also be it. Let's not forget to build granaries. These are actually rather important. The more food storage we have, then the more we can actually get in terms of our population growth. We have probably just under 100 years to try and build our population as large as we can before the inevitable collapse. We don't really know how to build hospitals, so it's kind of cooked, to be honest, but we can give it a shot. We're going to try and transfer some population from the lesser controlled areas back towards the capital. We want to start creating a few more towns if we can. Okay, these irrigations are cool and all that. Unfortunately, they just use all of our tools, so we have to get rid of all of them. No more irrigation. Age of Discovery. Yeah, this will be something. So, I think the only thing that's useful for us is the administrative focus. I think I usually pick this one all the time, actually, no matter who I'm playing. It's really hard to pass up the minus 10% building cost and the minus 10% urban building cost. It calls to me like the Green Goblin mask every time I play this game. Ooh, hey, we also have another law here. In Federal Union, minus 5% proximity cost. Thank you very much. I'm starting to wish I could just repeal laws because on second thought, I really don't want this. I should have never picked this up at all. We're starting to actively decentralize, which is horrible. The only thing I can really think of is to give monetary fiefs to the nobility to encourage centralization. Oh, actually, you know what? The burghers, you should have this, actually. You know, maybe we change from Privy Council, actually. Yeah, let's go with Royal Decree. Proximity continues to be relatively decent along these rivers. However, just settling one area every 10 years kind of takes a while. So we're setting up a whole bunch of colonies over here as well, because after a certain point, we also just don't really have a lot of things to spend money on. When the population's needs are mostly met, the prices in the market start to depress. And when that happens, if we continue to build more things, we actually just get less and less money, especially if we build more things further from the capital. So to fix that, we're going to need to increase our population. Of course, we do want to continue increasing our centralization, or at the very least, if we want to connect up this river here, we're going to need a road from here to here, and one to here. Right, so someone mentioned this. If you colonize, like actually colonize an area instead of expanding, you do get one level of RGO, meaning that we can actually get some iron. A little bit of iron. Now, we can't expand the iron, but we do get some of it. This is revolutionary stuff for the tool industry, because having any access to iron allows us to swap one of our production methods. Okay, that actually did finish. That's good. I thought it failed for a second. Anyway, if we can get some iron, then we can multiply our tool output, and it won't be a bottleneck anymore. So interestingly over here, we actually don't have horrible proximity. Well, okay, yeah, it's actually pretty bad, but at the very least, it is like above 0, which is something. It tells me that this is actually going to be important. Now, this is, of course, the St. Lawrence River. Goes all the way up into here, and I figure it's going to be pretty important for us. Right now, though, these provinces are just feeding our settlements. There are only a few places we can actually colonize, which will still give us good proximity, so that's going to be down here. Especially important that we actually create a colonial charter for the free RGO expansion. You know, I never actually checked, but we do have these pop-based countries around us. I don't think there's really much we can do with them. Form defensive leagues, yeah, but you don't actually have, like, troops or units or anything. No levies, no tax. They do actually have a reform, though. Interesting. They don't even seem upset that we've been colonizing, so that's cool. Our centralization is all the way up to 96% at this point. We're getting roughly minus 50% proximity cost. We've also picked up a little more iron. I think we're starting to replace all of our tools with iron tools. or at least a decent number of them are starting to swap over. That reminds me, actually, we do need to start colonizing this because it also has iron. You know, all things considered, I'd say we're doing quite well. And I'm only saying that now because I know it's going to suck in another 20 years. But if the population trend continues, not that it's the most accurate considering how many subjects we have, we should hopefully be able to get our entire empire up to a total of maybe 700,000? Hopefully 700,000 by the time the plague hits. We're still not going to be very big, but compared to the European colonies, at least we'll have a slight advantage, even as we drop down to like 200,000. Okay, so I did do a little test, and as it turns out, I was a little bit wrong about the idea that roads would be useless along a river. So I built a road between these two. It is true that it doesn't actually change the proximity, so that part is correct. However, it's not entirely useless, because you can spend more money and build a bridge. So there's that, I guess. Other than just building up the economy, honestly, there's not that much to talk about. Unlike in my Inca run, we don't really have any problems. Like, we have ample everything. This is exactly the scenario I was talking about in that video, actually. There's not really much for us to worry about. It's just expansion, build settlements, build population, keep expanding. That's kind of it. I will let you in on a little secret though. So every time I'm using my little settlement cabinet option here, I'm going for the provinces which have the most locations, because they should take the longest to colonize, in theory. It does kind of depend on the population there, but for the most part, the more locations, the longer it takes. It is kind of funny that this is as much as we can explore right now. Like, we do border this territory, can't explore though. I have no idea why. That's just how it is. If we wanted to explore, we could try to build some fishing villages and subsidize them. A total 4 fishing villages is giving us 113 sailors. We need 250, so we should build another 6 of them at least. Yeah, I guess I could do that. I think the best option we could go with right now is to basically spam down a bunch of towns, fill them with a ton of granaries so we can stockpile a ton of food, and then use that to grow our population. Playing isolated like this teaches you a lot about the loop in EU5, the relationship between pops, goods, and infrastructure, because it is possible to overproduce. And that's kind of what ended up happening over here, where I realized, oh, wait a second, we're actually producing too many goods. With the price of goods going down, it means that we don't actually make as much money anymore, so there's less money to tax. Especially when I started building things further away from the capital with low proximity, which means I could tax it less. So then I realized, oh, wait a second, what if we just drive up the demand for things by building a bunch of infrastructure? So that's how we started building ourselves back up again. And then of course, as the population becomes larger and we become richer, we can support more colonies to colonize even faster. But also, that loop only really worked insofar as we could keep on fixing our proximity. We are kind of running into a new problem though, where our proximity just isn't really able to keep up with our expansion anymore. We're fully centralized, we are 93% towards land focus. I'm pretty sure we've enabled every proximity saving thing in the game. So now the best we can really do is simply urbanize, because it's not really proximity we care about, it's mostly control. So if we urbanize and we can build these temples, that'll give us more control. Being a town, of course, automatically gives us like another 5%, I think. Yeah. So we're not completely out of options, but we're kind of getting there. It looks like the fishing village idea is in fact working, so we can actually explore the sea. Well, not really. Oh no. Oh no, 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 wait. I wasn't ready yet. Hold on. Okay, maximize stability spending. How bad could this possibly be? Just a little great pestilence. Yeah, there's really nothing we can do about that, I don't think. The situation ends after most of the continent of America has been infected and the disease has disappeared from every location. I don't know if this is going to help, but screw it, we're gonna do this. I mean, it's not like we trade anyway, it doesn't really matter. Please let this be bugged. Please let it be bugged and have it not affect me very much. Oh, I don't think it's bugged. Oh no. Oh, it's 23,000 dead already. Oh, this is so bad. 30,000 a month? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I did read a comment somewhere that said that this helps a lot, and I can't really see why that is because we don't trade anyway, but it actually seems to be working. Like, this is not as bad as I thought it would be. Wait, is that it? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly complaining here. This This wasn't even as bad as the Black Death. It's supposed to be a lot worse than the Black Death. I don't know, I kind of just expected more. Okay, so that set us back, what, like 20 years? That's not that bad. Wonder how my subjects are faring. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so it's really just a me thing, it seems. Yeah, my subjects are not doing too hot. So we did fine and they didn't, and I don't actually know why. Those are definitely the numbers I was expecting to see. Well, I guess maybe it actually isn't ideal to hand land out to your subjects, because I guess they just don't know how to survive it. Or maybe it just didn't do what it's supposed to do. Maybe it'll come back for round 2, I don't know. I'll just help my subjects rebuild a little bit with a few settlements, and we should be good in like another 20 years. The tax base certainly didn't appreciate it, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I guess it's business as usual. Not really much changing here. Okay, it's not like everything's doing perfectly fine. The capital was severely depopulated. We have massive shortages for every single workforce. So we're gonna have to try and get people to migrate back to the capital. Oh, they definitely changed something with today's update, but I kinda like it. I don't know. Okay, let's see if we can get people to move. We're gonna move you in from here. Man, everything is just so depopulated, it's crazy. Normally I would use these settlement options here to take over an area because there are maybe too many people in there to colonize quickly. But now there are just so few people everywhere. It really does seem like we were kind of the only ones to make it out alive. Another thing I find odd is that also this population's not going to change anymore. Like, pops don't recover in uncolonized territory, which is weird. Like, I feel like they should recover maybe like at least a little bit. Anyway, I think we're going to stop settling the frontier. It can be done much faster with my colonists. Since the disease is gone, we will repeal this. Hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. But also, I'm just not a big fan of the inward focus here. In fact, instead of going innovative, let's push towards outward. Despite how much we've lost, there is room to rebuild. Alright, let's keep on making subjects. We are really going to have to build a lot of settlements. Ooh, okay. This is a nice event. Times are changing. We can get legalism in the country. I like that. Actually, how are the institutions looking? Yeah, that's what I expected. But that's actually a lot of legalism. Where are we getting this legalism from? Oh, that's where we're getting legalism from. It's begun. They've arrived. The English. One way we could try to get a lot more population is through mass urbanization. Every town that we create is another 20,000 additional population capacity and 10% increased total capacity. And of course, a big part of your population growth is the abundant free land. And although it would be expensive and probably crippling to the economy if I'm being honest, it might be necessary, maybe. Also, side note, I think it's funny that we have so many incredibly capable characters as well. Like, it's kind of absurd, right? I don't know what kind of education we have going on here in the Haudenosaunee kingdom, but it must be top tier. Actually, I would like to say hello to England. Oh, you've actually created a colony in Nova Scotia. I mean, it's not Nova Scotia, it's Newfoundland, but that's cool, I guess. I would like to say hello, England. Please don't kill me. Or at least we can say hello to the colony, right? No, we can't. Okay, well, thank you, I guess. If you won't say hello, then I'll say hello. Or maybe I won't, because I have no naval supplies and no tin. Alright. Oh, okay, we just have to click on one of their provinces. That makes sense. Okay, hello. I know you don't like me. I don't know why you don't like me. Antagonism? Why are you antagonistic? Different religion group. Wow, you guys really don't like me, huh? Well, we'll figure that out. Probably. Oh. What? The English demand. They demand a claim. Do I look like I'm gonna respect the treaty of whatever? Like, buddy, I'm not even Catholic. What do you think you're gonna get from me? If I say yes, it seems like nothing happens, but I don't actually trust it. So I'm gonna go ahead and save the game first. I mean, I'll hand it over, but yeah, that's what I thought. Nothing happens. Okay. Pleasure doing business with you. That's cool. At least we can see London, though. That's pretty funny. What do you have over here? That's a lot of people. This is gonna be interesting. Oh, great. People heard about wheat and now they want it. You have a market by any chance? You do have a market. That makes sense. So we can actually do trade, right? In theory, no possible markets to import and export from. Maybe we just don't have the trade range. That's possible. Oh, I clicked away that pop-up. It said England started violating the Treaty of England. They don't even care. That's crazy. Oh, man. What is this? Well, I mean, we don't really have the pestilence anymore. I don't know why you're punishing me like this. That's not very cool. Bottom option, I guess. Now, all things considered, I actually don't know how aggressive the AI is. We can see that they are quite strong. I would probably fold, to be honest. I would crumple. There is no shot of us fighting anybody here. The inward focus you get from isolating the country is kinda crippling. Really not good stuff. Aw, man, I thought we could be friends. You know, maybe do a little bit of trade, introduce each other to like the local cultures. Maybe a bit of cultural cross-pollination, if you know what I mean. I don't even know what I mean, to be honest. I just thought we could be friends. Oh no, new outbreak. What is it? Oh, influenza, that's probably fine. Wait, no, we have no resistance. Wait a second. This is gonna be devastating, isn't it? Not another plague. I apologize for my hubris. Oh, that's actually not that bad. Okay, never mind. I love old world diseases. I love old world diseases. I love them so much. Please give me more old world diseases. More pestilence. Crumbling unity? We don't even have the pestilence anymore. It's gone. Why do you do this to me? Man, I'm beginning to think it might be a little bit bugged. Perhaps a small bit, maybe. Oh, yippee, influenza, that's cool. All right, we have not just repopulated the capital, but in fact we are expanding the population, namely because I want to turn it into a city. I feel it's important for us to have at least one city, somewhere that we can really funnel a lot of population into so that the other parts of the country can keep their settlements. Oh, please don't make a CB against me, please. I just want to be chill. Alright, legalism has just hit the capital. That's actually another reason for us to concentrate the population, because as soon as it's in the capital, we should be able to embrace, well, hopefully anything, if not soon after. Age of Reformation, what can we do here? I think we're going to want diplomatic focus. I do like that tax efficiency. Colonial maintenance reduction seems like it's going to be very useful for us. More migration, trade capacity, general ability to do more diplomacy, which I think makes sense given, you know, diplomacy is going to open up to us to an extent. I also just don't think the rest of this is that good for us. As for the administrative system, what do we have? Confederal law? That is nice, actually. Oh, no, I'm going to keep that. I'm definitely keeping that. There's so many things to pick from. I might actually go with the maximum literacy. Right now, we do have around 15%, which isn't even that bad. But another 5% research speed would be kinda nice. Especially since we're going to be so far behind. Oh right, I guess it would make sense for us to build maybe a couple of stockades, even if they don't hold the British off for long. Of course, we'll slap a hospital down in the capital. Now, it seems like no other institution is actually spreading to us. Spreading over here. I think it's because my market is actually a little too influential, as weird as it sounds. Oh, and it's also just too far away. Okay, so this might be a little weird. It might even crash my entire economy. I don't know. Hopefully not. But we're going to give it a shot. These two markets are too far away. I don't know how far away, but definitely too far. So if I make an intermediary market somewhere in here, like maybe this one place that has good harbor capacity that I plan to give to a subject, now we might be cooking. So we're gonna turn this into town real quick. Okay, new market right in the middle here, encompassing some of the Canadian territories, actually, so that's pretty useful. That should actually allow some of the institution to start spreading. There we go, it's present in the market. That makes sense, it's all reasonable so far. All right, let's create a subject. Now, we're also going to build up a library in there, and at least one marketplace. Actually, we should build a lot of marketplaces over here. Oh yeah, we can actually get gold now, so we can start printing money. This is working a lot better than I thought it would. Instead of crippling the economy, this is actually like saving the economy. Are you building a university? What? How did you do that? How do you have a town with 1,000 people in it? I've heard of university towns before, but usually you don't employ the entire town in the university. Thinking it might be time for us to start integrating a couple of these subjects, maybe. It's not like our proximity has significantly improved, but I have built a few more roads. I'm expecting once we get the better roads, we will be able to connect up our country a lot better. It's just going to take us a while to integrate all of these countries because integrating each one is going to make them very upset. Okay, this is not exactly working out the way that I wanted it to. The institution, it is spreading, just very slowly, but it is spreading. Now, there's something I noticed though. When we see that the London market is out of range, we see that the one market that we have on the coast is significantly closer. The one back home is super far away, and I think I know why. If the market center is on the coast, then you don't have to reach nearly as far. So, we're going to try another experiment. We're going to relocate our market away from the capital over to here. This is going to cripple the economy in the short term, but if we can get institutions and increase our trading range, then I think eventually we can probably move it back. And just like that, even though we can't actually import from London, we're still too far away, the Europeans can start trading with us. So now we're getting at least some institutions spread in our own market. Oh, hello. I really didn't expect Denmark to show up in Nova Scotia. You know what? I actually don't think I hate that. Let me think about that for a second. There's not much in here that I would want. Not much of an issue for the market. Another opportunity to spread the institution, maybe. Yeah, I think I'm fine with this. Oh, also, if I can, I would like to explore towards the Caribbean. Now when we try to explore, we still don't have the ability to produce naval supplies. But once we have the demand, the Europeans should see that the price is pretty high and should start to trade with us. Exactly. And you know, we did take a little bit of a hit to the tax base, but it's not actually too bad. And I think that's because since we're able to do trade with the Europeans, the price of goods is able to be increased. We can actually export things, which raises the price, which means that our industries are more profitable, and so we can tax a little bit more. Finally, Manhattan, acting as our gateway to the world, has brought us many institutions. They did end up over here, but yeah, if I didn't move my market capital, this would have taken much longer. I do want to turn this into a city as well. That'll give us a little more control in this area so we can make some more money. Of course, what we're really looking for in this city is actually the greater population capacity. We want to get more people in Manhattan, so that when it does get an institution, we'll have a larger part of the population ready to embrace it. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. Oh man, I think I may have forgotten to improve relations with Denmark, perhaps. Now, what do you actually want? I don't want to release that guy, he's kind of important. I mean, I'll give you war apps and money, that's not a big deal. Or do you want this? Oh, you do want that, hey. Yeah, I'm gonna pay you to not kill me, thanks. I don't think we can fight him, to be honest. Like, we literally just don't have the tech. I would so much rather pay them. And this time, maybe we should try to be friends. Oh, we can't. Okay, well, I'm gonna be friends with your subject. Now, we could move our capital to Manhattan. I think that would be a horrible idea, though. And that's because our proximity propagation kind of relies on our capital being upstream from everything. Our proximity flows downstream. So until we have roads that are able to match or supersede the effect from rivers, I think it's a terrible idea. Now we can embrace feudalism. Finally, we can start researching again, including some incredibly important techs, like the ability to mine coal and iron, saltpeter and alum. We can raise horses, get some more military tactics. We'll get one of these, of course. Then I think we're going to end up skipping a lot of these military techs, because pretty soon we'll be able to research the better versions anyway, so they won't really matter. But now that we have institutions, I think this is a good place to end off this video. If you're interested in seeing a second part where we modernize and honestly I don't know what we would do from here, then you can let me know by leaving a like down below. Of course, just like with the Inca video, if we get a lot of likes on this one, then there's a decent chance that I'll look at it for a part 2. A lot of that's going to depend on if they change the balancing in a weird way that breaks this save. That's a real possibility considering the game was updated twice while I was recording this, so who really knows how stable this save is going to be. But if there is going to be a part 2, subscribing would be a good idea to make sure you don't miss it when it releases. For now, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Again, thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to play it for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile now by using my links in the pinned comment or video description. New and returning players on console or PC that haven't played in the last 6 months get multiple premium vehicles and an exclusive vehicle decorator, plus 100,000 silver lions and 7 days of premium. It's available only for a limited time, so don't miss it. Big thank you to the patrons for this month. Everybody here does get early access to videos for as low as $1, but I'd like to give a special thank you to those who decide to donate more. So thank you, Erica, Born to Dunk, Gallo4, Gorka Maistegi, Licka Becker, Mikhail Sample, Nick Steffel, Princess Rhea, Q-Brute, Swiro, Tillman Augustin, A.G. Ferrero, Ben Mottram, Quiet Guy, Rosset, Ambient Cyan, Elysia Tutz, James Levy, Luke78776, Stalin DLRP, and Robert.